government clamped down also because of political compulsions. I mean, we all know
what were the political
how
compulsions
it
there?
The UP election was staring them in the face. I mean, let's call a spade as far as political leverage and compulsions are concerned.
Half the times what was happening in that protest site was not even reported. People were being cut. There was an instance where farmers used weapons, or whoever used weapons, and cut a man to size. I'm sorry, a man was killed. There were multiple other crimes.
I want to ask you, how many farmers died in that protest? Do you know? I have a number. I have a number. How many farmers died in that protest?
700. It was about 700.
How many? Yeah. Now
let me just,
people like
let me speak
please,
now. Let me make one point.
Please.
Which is that you mentioned about giving them the right to protest. The wrestlers were protesting in Jantar Mantar. They were given that permission by the government. In this case, and I was anchoring last Sunday, this was before the protest began, 3 days before the protest began, where there was talk and clear intel notes that suggested that these were farmers who were planning to come in the thousands and march towards Ramlila Maidan. I mean, come on, imagine the mess you would have in Delhi. We already saw it play out.
No. One second.
They were allowed to march all the way.
No. By the way, okay, now am I allowed?
May I complete my point? May I complete my point?
You guys complete.
Children are having their board examination. So for one section of society, you want to destroy future of the future generation of Bharat, where children will not be allowed to take their board examination because of these traffic jams.
Even now, from Delhi, you can't Punjab, Haryana, because there are cement barricades across.
Okay, guys. Okay, Preeti, yeah.
Okay, let me just say, there's no intel report that suggested that they were looking to march to Ramlila Maidan. They asked for permission. They wanted to come to Ramlila Maidan.
I'm talking about the intel note that suggested thousands of them are walking together from each part.
So that's what they wanted to do.
So
they wanted to protest at Ramlila Maidan. You didn't need intel for that. They said it.
Yeah, won't that create a problem? Will it not?
If you give them Ramlila Maidan, it would not. Okay, Akshita, did you cover the
How will they get to Ramlila Maidan?
Am I allowed to talk?
How will they get to Ramlila Maidan? They had tractors ready.
Now, one second.
They wanted to take tractors all the way through Delhi into Ramlila Maidan.
If you had given them permission, possibly they would not have.
They would still do the same thing.
Am I allowed to just talk without being heckled?
Okay. No, come on, guys. Nobody's heckling anyone here. Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
There's a little bit of a crosstalk. I will control all my friends. Don't worry. Yeah, Preeti.
I'm fine.
Nobody was saying that they were not. Would they have gotten tractors if they were allowed to work? When did the tractors come in? Because once already the cement columns, the nails on the road were already put.
No, quite the opposite.
Am I just allowed to finish?
No, because that was wrong, Preeti.
Speak.
That's not true.
Speak.
That's not true.
Speak.
The barricades were put up after the tractors came and started lining up on the roads. Again, I saw that on Sunday.
That's not true.
I saw the footage. I can show it to you.
Arey Baba, it doesn't take a day to put the tractors. The tractors, their march happened on the 13th.
I'm telling you, on Sunday they were lined up on the streets and that's when the barricades were put up.
4 days ago.
No, it was put up on Sunday. Again.
Oh Lord,
much before the protest.
If you are telling me that, 1 second, may I just, I'm like,
Okay. 30 seconds to
number one, if the tractors came in first, then there would have been no column because they would have gone through. So the tractors came in later, the cement columns were already there, the nails on the road were already there. Number two, let me now come back to the demand of the MSP. Why is it everybody saying this is political? What did the farmers do? The farmers waited for the last day of the parliament, the session to get over. Because what was promised, let's circle all the way back to the farm protest, what was promised that a committee will put forth a report.
Did the farmers join that committee?
Man, am I allowed to talk?
Were they invited to join that committee?
They were not invited.
They
were not invited. You want to go back to it? We can go back to it. But let me just come back to this.
Yeah, we've got 5 more minutes, guys.
All right, let me just come back to this. So what happened was that the report was never, the committee was never formed. Nothing came out of it. The farmers, as per them, right, said that we gave time for the government till the final day of parliament of this term. It's not a session, it's a term. The government's going into elections.
Yeah.
Once again, I will come back to it. Do I individually, like most people, feel that the demand of MSP is feasible? No. But do I feel that the farmers in this country or any group that could be Akshita, Gaurav, have an equal right to protest freely, fairly? Yes. And definitely not be faced with rubber bullets and water cannons and tear gas shells. I rest my case.
A right to peaceful protest. A right to peaceful protest.
Did you give them a chance?
Did you give them a chance? Don't interrupt me. We're apparently not having a conversation, but a one-way dialogue. So let's have it that way. Okay? So let's be very clear here. This was not a question of a peaceful protest, was it? When you have suggestions that, these were people who are armed. We've seen what happened in the Red Fort. How can we allow that to happen again? My only grouse with what's happened today and in the last 4 days is the fact that this government has sent out a message to these farmers that till you protest, you won't get what you want, which is what happened in 2020.
Yeah.
And that's why the farmers are out today. You've given them the platform to come out and say that, look, if we protest, if we put pressure, we'll get what we want.
Okay.
Which is the unfortunate bit. And this kind of protest, what does it do to all of us? We're struggling every single day to get to our work. Imagine the hundreds and thousands and lakhs of people who are stuck right now, can't move beyond Delhi into Punjab or Haryana over the weekend or any other time.
Closing comments from all of three of you. Gaurav, yeah, go for it.
So my point is, the fact remains MSP is not feasible. Punjab has suffered and Punjab has been suffering for decades, and yet it's the Punjab farmers who are actually spearheading this. Point one. Point two, be that as it may, yes, it's political, yes, it's being done with elections in mind, even if it is to bring down Modi's graph, well, that is for the government to tackle politically. But as a citizen of this country, I have a major problem, because if I have trouble, or hundreds and thousands like me have trouble getting to our workplaces or our work, or our life is impacted, we'd rather that whatever protests are happening happen at a designated place where you protest, let media cover it, let whoever wants to cover it, let whatever happen, but life of others must not be impacted. It takes everyone to run this country, not just annadatas.
So we know that right now the government and the farm leaders have engaged in at least 3 rounds of talks so far. We'll end this with, we've gone on a back and forth over the intent, the politics, the manner in which the government has dealt with it.
I didn't give a closing. Am I allowed to close? Am I allowed to give my closing?
I was going to come to you based on that. Yes,
Sorry,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I do feel that as citizens who don't want their life interrupted, as a citizen, I don't want to speak from acute privilege like most of us do, because of course we have kids who need to go to school, we have other stuff that we need to do. Protest at a designated site, allow them passage. Allow them, don't preempt what they're going to do, which you did the last time around.
And
don't do that.
No anarchy
I did
on
not
streets
like,
of India.
Again, but the fact is, there is such a well-modulated ecosystem with its set of toolkits who will convince all of us that these are anarchists, that all they want is politics. That's not true. Even this government admitted the last time around that whatever it might be, how well-meaning those 3 farm laws were, they just were unable to convince the farmers. That's it.
But there was no toolkit when Mia Khalifa and Rihanna were tweeting about farmers. That was not a toolkit. Mia Khalifa and Rihanna are absolute agriculture experts in our country.
No, and I don't think it's a privileged,
but fine. Okay,
I don't think we're sitting on a high horse when we say that we need to be able to go out and earn our living.
You guys
and be able to go out and earn a salary. As simple as that. If I'm struggling in a traffic jam, so is the person who's not able to afford a car.
And Mia Khalifa and Rihanna are absolute agriculture experts. That is not a toolkit. That is not a toolkit.
Stuck in a car on a jam, try and make this argument for a man who doesn't even have 2-course meals a day to
try
feed
to
his
make the
children.
argument also to a man who's cycling on the roads.
Okay, I'm going to...
And unable to get a single meal a day because farmers are protesting.